There's a strange comfort in things that don't work, a job you don't like, a routine that limits you, habits you've outgrown. You complain about them, but you don't leave. Not because you're weak, not because you lack ambition, but because your brain prefers what's familiar over what's better. Today we're exposing one of the most powerful psychological forces controlling your decisions, the familiarity bias, the invisible reason why people stay stuck, play small, and protect comfort even when it costs them growth, money, and freedom. The familiarity bias is not laziness. It's not a lack of discipline. It's a built-in survival mechanism. Your brain is designed to protect what it knows, and anything unknown is automatically flagged as risky even if it's objectively better. That's why people stay in toxic environments. Investors hold bad positions too long. Employees avoid opportunities. Habits repeat long after they stop serving you. In this video, you'll learn what the familiarity bias really is, how it silently shapes your life, why comfort feels safe but is expensive, and how to break out of it without forcing motivation. What the familiarity bias really is. The familiarity bias is a cognitive distortion where your brain assigns more value to things simply because they are known, not because they are good, not because they are optimal, but because they are predictable. Your brain equates familiar equals safe, even when the situation is unfulfilling, inefficient, limiting, slowly damaging. This bias explains why people choose a known discomfort over an unknown improvement. Staying where you are feels safer than stepping into uncertainty even when logic says the opposite. The evolutionary origin of comfort. Thousands of years ago, familiarity kept humans alive. Unknown territory meant predators, lack of shelter, scarcity. So the brain evolved to reward staying close to what was known. But today, most unknowns are not dangerous. They're new careers, better habits, smarter financial strategies, personal growth. Yet your brain reacts the same way it did in the wild. It confuses uncertainty with danger. How familiarity bias traps you financially? This bias quietly destroys financial growth. People stick to low-paying jobs because they're secure, inefficient spending habits, outdated beliefs about money, poor investments they're emotionally attached to. Familiar losses feel safer than unfamiliar gains. That's why people say, at least I know what I'm dealing with. But what they're really saying is, I'm choosing predictability over potential, and that choice compounds negatively. Why the comfort zone shrinks your world. The comfort zone doesn't stay static, it shrinks. When you avoid discomfort, your tolerance for uncertainty decreases. What once felt manageable starts to feel overwhelming. Fear increases, confidence erodes. Your world gets smaller not because of failure, but because of avoidance. Comfort is addictive, and the price of comfort is stagnation. How familiarity disguises itself as logic. The familiarity bias rarely sounds emotional. It sounds reasonable. I'll wait until things are more stable. Now is not the right time. This isn't perfect yet. These are not rational evaluations. They're emotional defenses dressed as logic. Your brain isn't asking, is this better? It's asking, is this known? And if the answer is no, resistance appears. How to break free from the familiarity trap. You don't defeat familiarity with motivation. You defeat it with exposure. 1. Normalize discomfort. Discomfort is not danger, it's data. 2. Make unfamiliar actions small. Your brain resists big identity shifts. Small steps bypass resistance. 3. Reframe safety. Safety is not staying still. Safety is adaptability. 4. Measure progress, not comfort. Growth feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. Your comfort zone is not protecting you, it's containing you. Familiarity feels safe, but it quietly trades your future for predictability. The moment you stop asking, is this comfortable? And start asking, is this helping me grow? your life begins to expand. If you want more videos on the psychology of money and success, subscribe and continue this journey with me.